Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy Foots the King. As always, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Wow, this draft journey has just been great. And you guys have been with me. You know, we did the draft trip, went out there, covered a bunch of things, and now it's kind of time to put a bow on things. So, just thank you guys for growing with me, man. I see the views going up. I see the subscribers going up. It's cool. And what I've been wanting to do is, aside from doing music, and you guys who have continued to support the music, make sure you do that. FootsXColes on Spotify and SoundCloud and iTunes. Go get that. To you guys who are new to the channel, I'm a musician, so that's really what I push. I'll put the link in the description. But aside from the music, I've been wanting to think of cool topics to talk about, and not just think about it, but really put some girth. I said girth in the last video. I don't know what girth is, like that muscle. Put some muscle into these topics to where it's not just fluff. And so then that way, when I jump in the comment section, or when you guys jump in the comment section, we can really have, some good talk. And today we're doing undrafted free agents. So initially, right after the draft, the Cowboys, they're doing their roundup of undrafted free agents, and you see highlights popping up. Right, you see guys, Queiro making Quavo, Migos. No, you see Queiro making. And I got some notes. I wrote some things down. You see all these highlights, but you gotta be careful of highlights. You really do. You gotta dive into the tape, and then you have to formulate an opinion. And that's kind of what I do. Like, that's what I did. I feel like Brian Broaddus has been watching my tape. You know why? Because today he comes out. And I'm going to pat myself on this shoulder and this shoulder. Because today he comes out and he says he has a feeling that Dalton Schultz will be the Cowboys starting tight end week 1. So he watched one of my videos on Schultz. Broaddus. Nah, shout out to Broaddus. I met him down at training camp a couple years ago. Solid dude. And so that's what I mean. Like, that's an example. Went in, dove in on Schultz, and kind of wanted to see what the Cowboys saw, and everything, that they were saying. I put two and two together, like with him and Bryce Love, and how Stanford, their whole goal was to get Bryce Love free and run him, and Schultz, it won't be a hard transition for him because he's so pro ready. He really is, as far as like blocking wise, a violent blocker, understanding schemes. So that's understanding schemes. So that's just one example, but just the growth on this channel, I can't thank you guys enough, man. So I wanted to dive in to this topic. I didn't want to hit undrafted free agents before I got through the whole draft class, and I've kind of done that on the channel. So now let's talk about undrafted free agents. And here are 5 undrafted free agents who have the best chance to make the team. Now, we know in recent years there's been guys like David Irving, which we didn't draft. We signed him from Kansas City. But, well, we didn't draft any of these guys, but he was an undrafted free agent. Jeff Heath, Keith Smith, who's not on the team anymore, Mayo, who's not on the team anymore, Byron Bell, Richard Ash, Dan Bailey. The list goes on and on. And then you think about some of the greats, Tony Romo, etc. The Cowboys have shown that in recent years they will give undrafted free agents a chance to come in and outplay their draft picks, or just a chance to flat out make the team. So here goes a list of the 5 guys who I really think that they could possibly push for a job. Number 1, that is Queiro. Safety, DB, Northwestern. Has some ball production, 5 picks. You see things that you like. And so with undrafted free agents, you just want to hit traits. Now, I'm hearing that they're going to move him to linebacker. The good thing for him is linebacker is wide open. Even with drafting Leighton Vander Esch, who knows what Damian Wilson's going to be. The team may be tired of him. You got Joe Thomas, and then everything else is wide open. It's still, backups. Sean Lee's going to get hurt at some point during camp or during the season. You hate to wish that on the man, but, it's going to happen. So let's see if Queiro can stick on. That he'll be able to cover being a former safety. So let's see if he can stick on making some plays in preseason. So that's number 1. It's no ranking, but Queiro's a guy who, let's just watch him during I don't think he'll just be like a camp body. Let's watch him during the offseason OTAs and then ultimately training camp. But let's see what he can do. Number 2, Dequinton Osborne. Oklahoma State, had good production, had good sack totals to be, that 3 tech. I think they'll want him to play a 1 because if you can play some three and you have the size, what the Cowboys are gonna do, they're gonna stick you in the middle. That's just what it is. Now we obviously traded for Jihad Ward, but then with Malik Collins getting hurt, this is a prime opportunity for a guy like this to step in. He's going to get a bunch of reps. Let's see what he can do. Had good sack totals to be a defensive lineman. 2016, he had 2 or 3, and then I know he upped that in 2017. So let's see. He didn't get drafted. Has some traits. I would like him to be a little bit more stout against the run, but he can really get up the field, and he has really good feet. He had a pick last year. So let's see. Pretty good, decent athlete. So let's see what he can do. Number 3. Joel Lanning, linebacker, Iowa State. Now, he's interesting because he's a former quarterback. You're like, quarterback? How did he switch from quarterback to linebacker? Thick guy, very smart. One problem, though. I hate the way he finishes. It's almost like he's hugging people to the ground. In the league, Ben Bloom will have to coach that out of him real quick. But you know that he's a smart guy playing quarterback. You know that he won't be fooled. I watched some of his highlights. He wasn't out of position. He just played with no physicalness whatsoever. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. But, again, this linebacker position, man, these backup jobs are very key. Maybe the Cowboys do cut bait with Damian Wilson. They're not going to pay him anyway. So, again, you'll keep hearing me say that. Here's an opportunity for a guy who, the story on him at Iowa State is he had a chance to quit. He was going to quit. Instead, he came in, got himself together because he got his quarterback job taken because a new coaching staff came through. Got his quarterback job taken. They said, yo, we want you to play linebacker. He didn't quit, got himself together. He went from quarterback to linebacker. At least you know that he loves football. To do that, some guys will fold and go be a dentist or whatever. So that's something, you could do something. A guy to watch, undrafted guy. Number 4. Very intriguing guy right here, Tyree Robinson, Oregon, free safety. You see the size, 6'3". Again, you guys hear me say it on this channel. You can't coach size. So watching his film, you saw him in a lot of cover 2 looks. The Cowboys are going to switch over to more cover 1. But, this safety position, there's a lot of you out there who don't like it. I love the safeties right now. But, the Cowboys are going to give him an opportunity to compete. It'll probably start off with X Woods and Heath and Kayvon as the starters, and those will probably be your starters moving forward. But you're gonna need backups. Injuries are gonna happen during camp, and when they do, and when these guys are in during preseason, a guy like Robinson who can has some ability, had like 17 pass breakups. If he gets a chance, he's going to have to make the most of it, and he will get an opportunity. So he's a guy to watch, and I like that size. Doesn't have the best ball production, but he played corner. He can do some things. The highlights were good, but, let's see when he gets in camp amongst other backups, can he shine? And number 5, Cameron Kelly with a K. I like him. Again, size. You can tell that Chris Richard wanted bigger guys when they're sitting here and they're going through the list. Oh, how tall is he? Okay, because you're looking for traits. So, again, 6'2", ball production with him, though, is off the charts. 9 picks. San Diego State is definitely a press man corner. That's what I saw from him watching his tape. Will get up in your grill. Footwork is decent. The 40 speed was 4.7, but, he understands the game. So he's one who you definitely got to watch because that corner position will get tricky, especially after the starters, right? So you're going to have Anthony Brown, who's going to be in a battle with Marquez White. And let's see if Cameron Kelly can do something. San Diego State fans, what do you guys think? Is Cam Kelly a guy who could possibly challenge? Because, Anthony Brown doesn't have a locked position on his team. I hate to break the news for you. He was drafted in the 6th round, and he gave you production. But if the Cowboys feel like, and Chris Richard feels like, he may kind of be the odd man out, with his size, with certain things like that, if he's not getting it. I hate Anthony Brown. I always say he's a zone off corner. I hate Anthony Brown in press coverage. He doesn't get his head around. He doesn't really have a feel for it. So if here's a guy who, like I said, I've watched his film, he's great in press man and his size. You never know if he challenges, comes in, makes a few plays in training camp, OTAs. So that's a name to watch as well. So Let's see. The competition is going to be high all across the board. So that's my 5. Wrote a bunch of things down about these guys. You guys know I don't play games, man. I like to have my thoughts in order, baby. So wrote a bunch of things down about these guys to kind of bring it to you. And again, I'm not saying, thinking of a list of the best Cowboys undrafted free agents. Tony Romo, Nate Newton, Everson Walls, Drew Pearson, Miles Austin. Look at Bailey, Mark Tuinei. That's just a list. I'm not saying that any of these guys are going to be those guys, but they'll have a chance. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do any of these guys stick on the roster? I didn't want to hit them early because I wanted to make sure on this channel that I covered our draft picks and how they can help this team. But, seeing the highlights is cool. But realistically, do any of these undrafted free agents have a shot? All right, guys, it's your boy Foots the King as always. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Send this video around. 5 undrafted free agents who could possibly stick. Maybe, they'll be playing against Carolina, tackling Cam Newton, picking off Cam Newton. Who knows? It's your boy Foots the King. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. Check the music out. Check out the podcast. Me and Joe Rod. Description in the link. Peace.